one guy come in the comments and was saying, man, it ain't their job to pick up the check. You know, because talking about that check that they lost. It ain't their job to pick up the check. You know, and they lost this check the last job of the day, and it was the only check they were to collect the whole day. And it got lost. You know. So he said, well, man, you need to be the one picking up the check. I don't ever let my guys pick up the check. I'm like, well, if you're running 2 trucks, why? I mean, you mean tell me that if I send 2 guys to a job in another truck that they shouldn't pick up the check when the homeowner leaves it on the back door? I shouldn't get them to pick the check up? And he says, no, it's not their job. Well, I don't know who defines their job, but their job is to make things go smoother, and their job is to do what I asked them to do that makes sense. You know, that's their job. Their job is to get the work done and let's get the money and everything. You know, if I had to go pick up every check from every job, then what do I need the second truck for? And I use Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, and any other app that somebody wants to pay me with. But some customers still don't do the apps. They want to leave a check. And I can live with that, you know, not a big deal to me. So it is their job to pick up the check. And it's just, I don't know, man, it just rubs me the wrong way when you got guys coming to comment telling me that it ain't their job to pick up checks. How do you know what their job is? How do you know what we have talked about or not talked about for them to make top dollar? You know, I mean, how do you know all that? I mean, their job is to pick up checks. That's their job. Do the job that I'm not at and pick up the check. Otherwise, I got to go over there and pick up the check. And that means I don't need them. You know? And I know what happens. Hell, I've lost a check a time or two in the 15 years I've been doing this. But I can count on 2 fingers how many times I've actually lost the check. You know, lost it. Not, you know, lost it for good. And, you know, these guys that was the only check they had to pick up for that day. All they had, and Bo got the check. Why didn't he got the check? All he had to do was walk 60 feet to the truck and put it in the glove compartment. How hard is that, dude? I mean, if I can't get the guys that work for me to do that, they probably don't need to be working for nobody. I mean, I'm just saying, man, you know, just saying. So, you know, and I ain't mad or nothing, man. I'm just pointing out, you know, how that sounds. And if you ran 2 trucks, then you would require, I mean, I don't see how you couldn't. You run 2 trucks, I require the guys to pick up the check. If the check is you know, if it's there, you know. And nobody ever loses checks. They never do. So, this is the first time that this has happened in a couple years. You know, Drew never lost a check, not one time. Because Drew would get the check and put it in the glove box. Just like, you know, you should do. But, you know, I noticed in the comments, some of you guys are talking about, you know, are hardcore about it like I am. And other guys are like, well, you know, it ain't their job, or just get the customer to write another check. I will get the customer to write another check. I'm not gonna lose money, you know. I will get the customer to write another check. But I was just pointing out to Bo how important the check is, because apparently it doesn't seem that important to Zach or Bo about me getting the check. I haven't gotten it yet. So, but I guarantee you, if their check was short $70, they would be calling me day and night to get that $70, day and night. And I'm just trying to point out to those guys that my check that I get on these jobs is just as important as their check they get on Friday. That's all, you know. And then for guys to come in the comments, you know, trying to tell me what my guy's job is, and they don't even run 2 trucks. I think this guy was saying he's got 2 guys in the truck with him. And to me, for the lawns that I do, you know, for 50% of the lawns that I do, having 2 guys in the truck with me is the most inefficient way you could do things. For the properties, for about 50% of the properties that I do. So, it's hard to come at me, you know, when you know, and if you ran a second truck, what would you do? Would you go by every job and pick up the check, even though your crew is there doing the job? I'm curious. Just let me know. Because if you do, then that's a big waste of time, if you ask me. Because if I got to be at the job, then I mean, I might as well go on and do the lawn, because most lawns, you know, take an average of, you know, 25 or 30 minutes. You know, 35 minutes at the most. Most, you know, regular lawns. And y'all know, I know y'all see a lot of the big cuts that I do, but I do pick up the check when I'm on site, always. But if I'm not there, there's no reason why the guys that work for me can't pick up the check. It's in the envelope. I mean, geez, you know. If they can't pick up a check and put the check up, then they're not worth the money that I'm paying them. They're worth about $12 an hour, $13 an hour. If I had to go through that on every job, oh my God, their pay rate would drop down, because I would have to spend all my time running around collecting checks. And if you got 20 accounts, 30 accounts, it might not seem like a big deal. And if you only run in 1 truck, well, you're on the job anyway, not a big deal, you know. But when you're sending a guy over here to do these 2 jobs, and then meet us at this 3-acre job, and then we'll do the 3-acre job, and then you go over here and do these 2 little jobs, while me and the other guy on the 3 acres goes do another 3-acre job, or 2-acre job, or 4 or 5 acre jobs, or whatever, then what's the point of me sending this guy over here if I got to go over there behind him and pick up the check? It's bad business, if you ask me. You know, no, they ain't. I don't do things. The guys that work for me are going to pick up the check, or they're going to pick up the check, or they're going to pick up the check. I'm not negotiating with them about that. If I have to negotiate with them about picking up the check that the customer left taped to the front door or to the back door, they, you know, I mean, they're not going to be out here, you know, because I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to want to waste my energy and my time doing that. Why would I do that when the time that it takes me to do all that, I could have been done 2 more yards somewhere else, making another $150 or $120 or whatever. It's hard to think like me when when you don't have 2 trucks running. It's hard to think like me when you think that having 2 guys in the truck with you is the most efficient way to do things. It may be for you and your business and your type of yards, but for me, 50 to 60% of my yards, it don't even make sense when I got another truck sitting there and another mower sitting there that can be doing all the jobs I don't want to go to. And then my routing in this truck can be streamlined where I can do a lot more properties in the same time without incurring, much more expenses. My second truck is paid for, so I don't have to make no payments on it. The mower's paid for, the trailers are paid for. So why would I not run a second truck if I got a guy as long as I got a guy that's got a driver's license and has got, because I want to be efficient. It's not costing me as much money to run the truck as I'm making on the truck. Guarantee it. That truck, the second truck, has probably generated, and y'all gonna think this is crazy, $200,000 by itself in the last 3 years. Just that truck has probably generated that much money. And I could break it down and I could look at the numbers. I guarantee you, that truck this year, has generated $60,000 or $70,000. And not only that, I haven't had any maintenance on it either, other than, nothing. And on top of that, it makes this truck more efficient because now I don't have to worry about the stupid little yards that I don't really want to do, but I need to do just to be in business. I can have the guy in the other truck go do all the yards I don't want to do, or all the yards that are kind of off the beaten path a little bit, to where this truck can be everything. This truck can me and a guy in this truck with me, and a guy a guy like Bo in this truck with me, and then a guy that's got his mind together in the other truck. Nobody has to work that hard. Nobody. And everybody, and we're getting done, on what would take me till 6 or 7 o'clock. We're getting done at 2:30. And it is costing me a little more money, but not anything to what, nothing compared to what the truck is making or what I'm having to pay the guy to run the truck. It's easy for that truck to generate $400 a day. Easy, with one guy. And I ain't paying the guys $400 a day. If that truck can generate $400 a day and do the jobs and show up every day and pick up what I'm putting down, we can take on more work and everybody will make more money. My problem is when little things like the check, and it ain't gonna make or break me, not coming to work, it undermines my confidence in being able to do work. And that means I'm not chasing no work, even though I got 100 customers and I can find work anytime I get ready. I could sit there at my computer today and I could line up, probably $3,000 worth of work next week that ain't got nothing to do with the lawn care. I'm talking about just bushes, weed spray, labor type jobs that don't require a lawnmower. And that ain't counting bobcat work and things like that. So, and no, my butt ain't hurt. I'm not mad at nobody. It's not nothing to be mad about, I'm just pointing out that that it doesn't make sense for me to go pick up every check. And I'm just pointing out that my check is just as important as the guys that work for me check. And that's what I wanted them to see. And that's why it was actually in the video, because there are other guys out there like me. I know there are, because I don't operate way outside the norm. And some of the things I do may not be what you would do, but they're all in the scope of trying to earn money and trying to minimize our time. So it's hard to critique that when you're running one truck. You know, nothing wrong with running one truck. Just for my business, I ain't running one truck with two guys. I just don't think that that's the best way to do shit. You know, in lawn maintenance. Sure, there are jobs where you need two guys, or where it might be a little bit better to have two guys, or a little bit faster to have two guys. But it's much more faster, much more efficient to have the other guy in another truck on a whole other route. You done created a whole route for that truck. You're making a lot more money. And this truck don't have to worry about that little petty stuff. But that comes with a whole nother set of worries. You know, the truck, the guy driving the truck, getting lost, maintenance on the truck, a guy on a job by himself, a guy bumping into people's mailboxes, a guy, you know, not being efficient when he's in the truck doing the jobs. You know, all these are other worries that you had. Of course, when the guys are with me, dude, we can do a whole lot of work, man. When I got two guys with me, of course I can do a lot of work. But I don't go up on the number of the yard that I'm doing because I got a third guy in the truck with me. And the time that we're saving is not enough on a you know, you figure on a 35-minute yard. If I got one guy with me, right, on a we'll just say a typical $60 yard. Most of my yards are $60, $70. If I got a guy in the truck with me, one guy in the truck with me, for example, if I got one guy in the truck with me on a $60 yard, we do it in 35 minutes, 30 minutes. Something like that. You know, that varies a little bit. Okay, so we go to the same property and I got two guys in the truck with me. We're still at 30, 35 minutes. We're not doing it no faster because you can only do the yards as fast as the mower can cut it. That's as fast as you can do them. So you got to kind of recognize what I'm trying to word it right. You gotta, it's gotta make sense on what the lawnmower can cut. Well, yeah, right, just throw two lawnmowers on a small residential. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. You're not saving it that much time. When you throw on, I'm talking about typical $60 yards, $70 yards. I'm not talking about the cuts like we did yesterday, or, you know, I'm talking about regular lawn maintenance yards that we do regular, that are less than an acre, you know, or even an acre. You have to weigh how long it's going to take to cut that versus how long it's going to take one guy to weed eat. Because all my properties, they only have to have one weed eater guy and one, you know, ground guy, if you will. You only have to have one for the $60 and the $70 yard. Now, if we're doing bushes, that's different. The third guy, it makes all the difference in the world. But we're making a lot more money than the $60 yard. You know, I couldn't imagine doing, you know, a 1 acre job, a 1 acre lawn maintenance, regular lawn maintenance, and have two guys in the truck with me. Well, I mean, what's the other guy going to do? Because the jobs are going to get done as quick as the mower can cut it, and that's as quick as you can go. Can't go no quicker than the mower will let you cut. So there is a certain amount of time that you just have to be there to cut the grass. And I've got it down, the timing down on my properties to where the mower, when the mower's done, it's time to go. And the guy that's on the ground know that. I'm watching them and their progress as I'm cutting the grass. And I'm seeing where they're at, and if they got held up here or got held up there, or if they had to restring the weed eater, put gas in stuff or anything like that. I am identifying all of that as we're on the job, because I'm watching what's going on around me, you know. So if I see, well, damn, man, the guy, he ran out of string on the weed eater. He had to restring the weed eater. You know, that happens. So then what I'll do is I'll use the mower, you know, to help him out on the blowing. So when he gets to the blower part, he ain't got to blow as much, which would make up for the time that he spent at the trailer stringing the weed eater. You know, some jobs by default, I blow the road off with a mower. A lot of jobs, I blow the road off with a mower. I don't want these guys walking any further than they absolutely have to. I don't want them working any harder than they absolutely have to. You know, and me and one guy in this truck right here, we are, as long as they, you know what they're doing, we can really do a lot of work. And as far as being able to keep help or not keep help, that's outside of my control. You know, I've had the same guys work. You know, Zach has worked with me on and off for about 4 years. You know, he didn't work last year, but 3 years previous to that, he worked. Bo's worked with me on and off for 15 years, you know. And then I've had a handful of guys come through along the way, but not like you would think, you know. The labor issue is not just me. I don't know if this guy is watching the news or anything, or other channels. The labor issue is not just me, man. It's everybody. I don't know of any lawn care guy or landscaper, concrete guy, tree guy, any of them that ain't having some sort of labor issues. You know, their fault, employees' faults, whatever, whose fault don't really matter. This is the reality that we're living in right now. You know. Of course, when I got two guys in the truck with me, they're gonna do everything like I want them to. Of course. You know, but I don't want that. I want a guy to get in the other truck and do everything like I want him to. And that's where the problem lies, right? Right here, y'all. Oh, yeah, I've been out this one out about 20 minutes here for the 60. He's prepaid. So I'm gonna do this one. Then I'm gonna stop by the auto parts store and get some oil and stuff. I gotta get a new cable for the freaking camera because the damn charging cable ain't working. It broke. Yesterday when I was moving the camera around, I dropped the battery. I had it plugged into this battery right here, you know, this thing right here, and I dropped it and it snatched it out of the camera. So it broke the little piece on the end. So yeah. All right, y'all. Peace out. I know we all have different goals on where we want our business to go and what we're trying to do. Everybody is not trying to do what I'm trying to do, you know. Y'all, you know, everybody's not trying to do what I'm trying to do. Some people are content cutting the grass, and I used to be content doing that, but you know, as I've been doing the lawn care stuff, you know, I've evolved a lot, and evolving, you know, I have seen where I can, you know, where I can possibly go with the business. Of course, you got to be able to fund anything that you want to do outside of the lawn care, and you got to pay your bills, you know. So, you know, the lawn care stuff is great during the summer, but in the wintertime, it ain't, I mean, there ain't no money in the wintertime, you know, and I ain't one of these type guys that build up my money and then just sit on the couch all winter. But, you know, I'm not really trying to cut grass for the rest of my life, you know. I mean, me personally, you know. And if that's the case, then I got to make sure that I practice delegating yards out to guys and kind of see what I get as far as, I don't know, feedback from the customers, and just the act of delegating and parlaying the second truck into making more money and the routing and all. That requires a lot of thinking, and the more you do it, the better you are at it. Now, I can't control the labor part. When the guys come to work, they make great money, and for the minimal time and the minimal actual physical labor work. But that's where I'm trying to, do in my business. And everybody's not trying to do is, I know people that have been doing this, lawn care thing for 20, 25, 30 years. And that's what they like. They just want to do lawn care, You see, that's not me, Yeah, I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy making good money, but I enjoy also, putting the business in the best scenario. That's the kind of things I enjoy. You only can make so much money cutting grass. I mean, that's a fact, So you're gonna cap out, and to make money at cutting grass, you have to rely on labor. I mean, I don't want to say to make money cutting grass you got to rely on labor, but to make good money without killing yourself, you do. When I say good money, I'm talking about, 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month, something like that, to make good money. Because you can only do so much with one truck and one person. Of course, I can make a better living with a guy in the truck with me, but we can't do all the work that we do, that you see us do now. There ain't no way. So you have to look at where you're trying to go with your business too. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really, one-dimensional like that, man. And y'all see the equipment that I got and everything. I try to just cater to my customers' needs. The 100 or so customers that I got, and I mean, during the wintertime, if all I'm doing is lawn care during the wintertime, what do you do during the wintertime? Because there ain't no lawns to cut down here where I'm at from, November to March, end of November to March, the lawn care work, you'll go hungry. You'll be starving. Yeah, you can do a few little cleanups and stuff, but to make money at the cleanups, you need to have labor. The same, I don't want to be dependent on all the labor, and like I am right now, So I've been knowing that though for years. That's why I bought a Bobcat, and that's why, I bought this truck, and that's why I bought, the big equipment trailer, because I want to get into other stuff besides the lawn care. Because I know, and have known for a long time, that to make a lot of money in lawn care, the kind of money I want to make, and everybody's goals are different, I got to have labor. And all the time. You can make just as much money with the Bobcat, more money with the Bobcat, a lot more money with the Bobcat, and not have none of the labor or very little labor, And then the labor that you do have, you can pay them top dollar